bringing news that matters to you. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. As the debate continues on the controversial stem cell research and therapy throughout the country, a local resident says his life is a testimony that this form of treatment can save lives if properly regulated and monitored.
When I first found out, the symptoms were when I lay down in the night, I would have this numbness from my waist and down to my right leg. I would have this numbness.
Months after experiencing those symptoms, Kelly Burrows says in 2006, doctors discovered that he was in the early stage of multiple myeloma, a degenerative bone cancer. He says he underwent intense treatment for 3 years, and then in 2009, he decided to try stem cell therapy at a medical center in Florida.
A stem cell transplant is the intravenous infusion of healthy stem cells to replace the stem cells damaged by high-dose chemotherapy. These healthy stem cells repopulate the bone marrow and result in the production of normal red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets that enter the peripheral blood.
Burrows says his last 3 exam results over the past 18 months showed no signs of cancer. He says the average lifespan for a patient diagnosed with multiple myeloma without proper treatment is 3 years. The former hotelier is now a 7-year survivor, and he believes stem cell therapy saved his life. While the Bahamas government is looking to venture into the field of stem cell therapy and research, Burrows says he has some concerns.
My concerns are who in the Bahamas is qualified to monitor the stem cells. How will the Bahamas enforce the ban on the use of embryonic stem cells? The regulations and enforcement, maintaining the high standards that comes with the procedure. Will an international body be brought in for this exercise?
He's adamant that as the government moves forward with its agenda, the public needs to be educated about this crucial subject. The stem cell patient also warns that this type of medical procedure should not be taken lightly and should be approached with caution.
It's not like, hey, you enforce and seatbelt law. You have to enforce it, monitor it, and the regulation has to be there. When it came to get my cells, anytime they came to the clinic to get my cells, a sheriff accompanied the lady from the blood collection area to carry the cells to where they were supposed to go. A sheriff accompanied her and was back every time she brought it back.
Burrows says his stem cell therapy cost about $500,000. You can call it Grand Bahamas Talent Search. The Ministry of Grand Bahama, the Bahamas government, and the ICANN International Program have come together to create a stage for Grand Bahamas youth to show off their talent. It is a school-based program, and coordinator Kevin Tomlinson says they are looking to take the talent program to the big screen.
Created by their call Caribbean Kids of Soul. And the idea is to produce a television show that is going to showcase the best talents that we have existing here in Grand Bahama. Now, I said, you know what, let's go out to them, let's go and find them. And we got permission to go out and to find the talents that are in these schools. You would be surprised to see in Grand Bahama how many talents exist in so many of our schools and so many different areas.
And you gotta take control. Don't know what you can do or what you keep up.
The Martintown Primary School was the first stop on the local talent tour. Tomlinson says every school in the district can expect a visit from the ICANN program.
Every day for the next 2 months, we're hitting every school in Grand Bahama, from Sweetens Key down to West End. We're going to these places to find the best that Grand Bahama has to offer. At the end of the month, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has given us permission to use the stage out there in Port Lucaya. So we're going to use the stage to showcase the schools we've done for the month of October, the best that we found. and then the showcase for the month of November. And then in January, we're going to actually start the taping for the actual show itself.
Tomlinson says the program will include all forms of artistic expression. A member of the Methodist Church on Grand Bahama is making history. We have more in this report. Michelle Dames is the first Grand Bahamian to rise to the second highest office within the Bahamas Turks and Caicos Methodist Conference. She was elected vice president in January, but didn't officially begin her duties until September and will serve for the next 3 years. Dames says as vice president, she is responsible for resources and development, and she will also assist the president with implementing the policies of the conference.
Once the conference would have met and made decisions, to follow up in carrying out those decisions made by the conference. But my goal as I serve is to really pay attention to the operations of the schools, as well as trying to put our conference back together, like I said, and operating to the role that God has called us to be.
Dane says she's also focused on instituting new programs and initiatives in addition to what the conference already has in place.
We do have outreach programs in place, like the after-school program to assist children with projects, and also we hope to begin the adult literacy program. We have outreach program too as the feeding of the needies.
She says the conference also plans to create a greater awareness about HIV and AIDS. Crime also ranks high on the vice president's agenda as the Methodist body works to address the many social ills prevalent in today's society.
If throughout the conference area, we can work closely with the courts and to do a lot of counseling with specifically our male children, to help to combat the crime level that's really seems to be on an increase throughout the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands.
And that's news from the Northern Service on behalf of the entire team.
You call me Anthony.
I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining. Good night.
Good night.